This is the OTB Television Network, a service of Capital District Off-Track Betting.
Good morning and welcome to the Handicappers Report on this Tuesday morning. Seth Merrill of Equidaily.com, Mike Jarbo of the Times-Union. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, Seth. How are you?
Very good. It was an eventful morning, though, as I came in and spilled water all over my entire paper. So
I see an equipment change. You're wearing mud caulks today.
That's right. My form is a little bit drenched here, but we'll get through. We'll get through. Most of it is dry, so
sort of a fountain of youth.
Yeah, it's always a little bit of something in here with the Handicappers Report with me anyway the last couple of days. But we are going to be taking a look at some racing this afternoon. I'm going to look at Turf Paradise. Mike's going to look at Parks Racing. Of course, there was some holiday racing around the country yesterday, highlighted by the Southwest down at Oak Lawn Grade 3 event, $300,000 purse. It was the return of Strong Mandate. The winner of the Hopeful from last year hadn't been seen since the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. The return of Tapiture coming out of the win in the Kentucky Jockey Club back in November. There were some other nice horses in there, like the winner of the Smarty Jones Tanzanite Cat, Louise Flower, who had last won the Springboard Mile over at Remington. A couple of horses with some promise, Paganol and Bourbonize, and it was Tapiture looking very strong in the return, again, since winning the Kentucky Jockey Club back in November for Steve Asmussen. Tapiture gets first jump at the top of the stretch and wins by over 4 lengths at 5-1. The even money favorite, Wayne Lucas's Strong Mandate. Again, Tapiture got first jump. Strong Mandate was up against it a little bit, but Strong Mandate, I think for the first start of the 3-year-old season, a decent second place finish. Disappointment for me, maybe I thought Paganol for that career debut could be a little bit interesting. He winds up 10th in the field of 12. Tanzanite Cat winds up running 5th in their Coastline 4th. It was Right on Curlin who completed the trifecta. But Tapiture for Steve Asmussen certainly looking good. Certainly looking good in the 3-year-old debut.
That was a very good performance by Tapiture, but I want to get back to Strong Mandate, and I would love to see a Trackers figure on how much more ground that horse had to cover. What a terrible wide trip that one had.
Yeah, they all bunched up kind of as they went into the back stretch, and he was strung out. But probably, I think they called it about Frank Miramati was looking at like maybe 7 wide, something like that, down the back stretch. And so, yeah, certainly there was some ground covered there by Strong Mandate. But as noted, it was just as Wayne Lucas's Will Take Charge did last weekend. Pretty good 2:14 debut. I think the kind of race you look at, good comeback effort, plenty of upside still to come.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it looks like they'll be continuing along the Oak Lawn Trail here. So nice effort yesterday in the Southwest, both the top 2 finishers. We'll have to see the horses behind where they're going to shake out and head to. Also over in New York in the Holly Hughes yesterday, it was Be Bullish getting it done, and it got it done under Taylor Rice, her very first stakes victory. But another, I think it was a 3-winner day for her. It might have been more, but I know it's, 7th or 8th race, she had tallied up 3 winners. She is really putting together a nice winter down there at Aqueduct.
I know. I think also that was 3 wins on the day for our friends at Drawing Away Stable.
Oh, I think you may be right.
That's quite an accomplishment.
And Be Bullish, Married to the Music. I had them flip-flopped at the Handicappers Report here yesterday. Mine Over Matter runs 3rd in there. But Be Bullish, boy, there is a real workhorse kind of a runner. Always gives a good effort. But again, Taylor Rice picks up her first career stakes victory and does it in New York. Nice way to do it. She is, as noted, she's just putting together a real solid winter season. Again, we're going to look at Turf Paradise for this afternoon. Also going to take a look at Parks Racing. Parks Racing has been off for a little bit with weather, and they also have a quarantine down there with the equine herpes virus. That was what canceled them on Sunday, but hopefully they'll be back racing today. I'm sure Turf Paradise will be up and running. So we'll be certainly looking forward to looking at Turf Paradise and enjoying, as I like to say, they live vicariously afternoon of racing because the temperature's still cool. We're actually looking at another little bit of snow here in upstate New York over the next 24 hours. So again, Turf Paradise for this afternoon will be fun to look at. And yesterday, almost a weekend, kind of a full slate of holiday racing. We were looking down at Gulfstream Fairgrounds. Santa Anita was running yesterday, so it was a nice card. Hopefully everybody had some fun. There was some nice stakes action again with the Southwest and some stakes out in Southern California as well. And there was also a big pick six carryover out in Southern California. I think it was 119 going into the day. They added something like 1.2 million. And I think, if I read correctly, 12 lucky tickets collected 65,000 each. So congratulations to those people. And again, a reminder that Gulfstream Rainbow Six, a 20-cent bet. It is one of the jackpot bets. It only pays off the full amount if there's a single winner. But the pool is now over $1 million. So even the conso, if there's more than one winner, is paying pretty well. Keep that in mind when they come back this week. They have a carryover of over $1 million down there. And once it gets to about $500,000 or so, it starts to become a little fun to jump into, particularly that 20-cent increment. You can make a decent, even a guy like me can make a decent ticket.
You know that 65,000 will go a long way toward getting this water cleaned up in here.
That's right, yeah. I can call quick response and have them come in and handle my briefcase this morning. All right, we are going to take a look at the racing for this afternoon. I'm going to kick things off with Turf Paradise.
Okay, the first at Turf Paradise, we're going 4.5 furlongs, $3,000 beaten claimers, going for a $6,000 purse, 3-year-olds and up. This is what we called last week the loser condition.
Yeah, this
horses who've not finished in the money at the meet.
Yeah, this is brutal. Just going to go back to yesterday quickly. No winners on top, but it was an okay day. It wasn't obviously with no winners. He didn't knock it out of the park, but there was a couple of reverse exactas. 4 of my second place selections won. It was one of those kind of days, but a couple of times the top pick and the second pick flip-flopped. In the second race, my top 4 combined for the superfecta in exactly reverse order. The D selection, C selection, B selection, A selection, ran 1, 2, 3, 4. But the exacta there, 146, superfecta 555. So again, it was one of those days. The winners on top not doing too much, but there was a little bit of second and third selections in the 8th race came back for a $58 exacta. So for me as an exacta player, there was enough juice in there to feel I was getting some good action all day long. Also, my play of the day, I only called one yesterday, but that came in. It was kind of a chalky exacta though. So we'll see what we can do today at Turf Paradise. In this loser condition, we had it last week. I found it absolutely a skull buster, and it played out that way on the racetrack as the top of the stretch. My selections were sitting right there, but they all threw out the anchor and a couple of unknowns came in. And that could be the case here. I mean, again, with this condition of not having finished in the money over the past season and a half or so, you have horses that have shown plenty of speed, but also shown plenty of quit. You're just kind of taking a little roll of the dice in here. I wound up 6, 4, 1, and 2. The number 6 has some back numbers. Now, this horse laid off from July until January, came back, and the comeback effort wasn't that great, but it got the horse back on track. This is a 10-year-old, so I don't know what we're going to get here in the second start back, but the fact of the matter is that over the past year, this horse has been pretty lightly raced. So whereas the rest of the field has kind of proven themselves losers, at least this guy has an excuse. He hasn't been around to not get in the money. So I'm just looking at this horse with some back numbers, second off the layoff, and again, maybe a little bit of the fact that this horse is not as proven to be a loser as some of the other horses over the past year or so. So it's just the vaguest of angles to hang my hat on here with number 6, Mike Strippin. Second spot, the number 4, Matty O'Keefe. Moves from non-winners of 2 lifetime to the non-winners of 2013, 2014. So I think class-wise, this horse is getting a little bit of class relief, but last 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 races haven't been too much, so I don't know if that class relief is going to be enough. Third spot, the number 1, Jubileum. Just on the numbers, and again, class-wise, this is another one that may be getting a little bit of class relief. Toss this one in. But again, like last week, this race could completely fall apart. I have no argument with anybody taking anyone in here because in a condition like this, anything could happen. Nothing will surprise me here, but I have it 6, 4, 1, and 2.
Okay, moving on to the second at Turf Paradise. We're going to be on the grass, and some of you folks with long memories might remember what grass looks like. We're going 7.5 furlongs, 3-year-old maiden optional claimers, $30,000 optional tag, $11,000 is purse.
5, 4, 6, and 7. I'm going to go with the first-time starter. Pasadena Tom goes out for Robertino Diodoro. And there's a little bit of breeding here. Diodoro, leading trainer at the meet, and does pretty well first time out of the box. I think the workouts underneath says this horse could be interesting. So really, it's just a little nature and nurture at work here. I'll put this one on top. Take a little shot with the number 4, Top of the World underneath. Comes in from Golden Gate, and perhaps getting some venue class relief there for. What interests me on this horse is there are 2 did not finish races that bookend a decent 4th place finish. And then the 2 did not finish races, both kind of a bad start, wheeled in both of those races, indicating there's a little bit of a, a head case kind of a factor here. Well, since coming down to Turf Paradise, most recently, the last 2 workouts were gate workouts, including a bullet last time. That indicates to me they're schooling this horse, and the bullet last time out of the gate says to me that maybe they've gotten beyond the problems. So again, the one time this horse got out of the gate, it was actually a pretty good start. Let's look for something closer to that today with these gate workouts now. So 5 over 4 over the number 6, Saturnino, who just has some nice buyer figures over the past couple of starts, and I think as compared to the rest of this field, is the logical contender in here. I'm going to do a little 3-horse exacta box play of the day in this race. And my past performances for Turf Paradise on Tuesdays never have morning lines, so I can never really make a good guess on some of these. These are the kind that you're going to want to look and make sure the value is there. I think to go 3 deep, the value probably will hold up, but make sure it's there. I'd also be tempted to take a win place on Pasadena Tom, but with Robertino Diodoro as the trainer, I'm not sure the odds will hold up there. So I'm not going to call the win place, but if you get some value, you might think about that. I will call the 3-horse exacta box on my top 3. I have it 5, 4, 6, and 7.
All right, then, moving on to the third at Turf Paradise. We're going 6.5 furlongs for a $6,000 purse. Fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up, $3,500 is a claiming tag. Seth?
4, 6, 2, and 1. The number 4 is She Can Roar. This is just a horse that's been knocking at the door the past couple of starts. You go back 3 and 4 starts back, was a poor 5th in both of those. And then the last couple of starts, a close-up 3rd and a decent 2nd last time. So again, it's a horse that just seems to, over the last couple of starts, have been firing some pretty good efforts. And if we get a repeat of one of those, She Can Roar will be right up in the hunt. 2nd spot, Here It Is. Got some education over the track last time. Came in from Golden Gate and got that venue class relief. But given the conditions this horse was racing in at Golden Gate, probably was just well suited to the 35 level here at Turf Paradise last time. And again, went off the favorite that day, ran 4th, but may just have needed this start to kind of get the feel for this surface. So I think Here It Is will be up in the hunt today with that education now under the belt. And then the number 2, Mum's Joke, gets some class relief in here, and that could be enough to put this one up in the hunt. Does go out for a trainer, a little bit cool at the meet, though, and a little bit cool last year with only 3 wins for a 4% 2013. So I couldn't quite pull the trigger given the connections, but I think on the class relief, Mum's Joke certainly could get the wake-up call. In the 3rd, 4, 6, 2, and 1.
All right, that'll bring us up to the 4th at Turf Paradise. We're going 5 furlongs, $3,000 claimers, with a calendar condition, non-winners of 2 since August 18th.
2, 1, 5, and 3. The number 2 is Truckin'. Perhaps a slight buyer edge on this bunch. and again, it's slight, but I think there is maybe a little bit of a numbers edge with this guy in here. Now, you're looking at a couple of 4th place finishes, but you go back 3 starts, a nice win there for a 3,000 calendar tag. now has bumped up to the 5,000, 2 starts back, and got some education at this N2 calendar condition last time. I think this horse now could be primed to pop. And again, with the numbers, I think Truckin is interesting in here. Second spot, the number 1, Mo Rock, just in some pretty good form. A win last time, just following a couple of third-place finishes. Last time out was at the 6,000 level for state breds. 2 back was at this 3,000 calendar condition. The state bred 6250, probably a lateral move. So a win last time at what I would say class-wise probably stacks up well against this bunch, and a close-up third place finish in this class 2 back. So again, in some good form and should fit well today. Mo Rock in the second spot. And then the number 5, Shanghai Voyage. Just find this one interesting because Drayden Van Dyke ships over to Turf Paradise. And it's kind of interesting. We have the apprentices here in the Northeast that if they get hot, you have that weight allowance and you want to make the most of it. So you'll see some of these apprentices who may be based, for instance, in New York. On the days off in New York, they may show up over at Parks or down at Laurel, and they want to make the most of that apprentice allowance and get in as many races as they can. Well, Drayden Van Dyke has made a little bit of noise out in Southern California over the past month or so, and he shows up here, and I think tomorrow also at Turf Paradise. And then according to entries later in the week, back at Santa Anita. So he's making the jaunt over to Turf Paradise to make the most of that weight allowance and get some extra races in. But again, made a little noise out in Southern California, so I just found Shanghai Voyage today a little bit interesting with Drayden Van Dyke, the apprentice, on board. In the 4th race today, 2, 1, 5, and 3.
All right, moving on to the 5th at Turf Paradise. We're back on the lawn. We have 3-year-olds, maiden optional claimers, going for $30,000 tag. $11,000 is the purse.
6, 8, 4, and 1. The number 6 is Indian Smoke. This horse is kind of interesting. I'll be interested to see, in fact, what the odds on this one wind up to be today. This is a horse that started the career in Southern California, Santa Anita. Well beaten in a maiden special race there, but well beaten behind Cherubim, who finished second in the El Camino Real over the weekend, and Chelios, who was a nice winner out in Southern California subsequently. So that was a very, very salty maiden special weight that this horse debuted in. Subsequently, though, moves out of the Bob Baffert barn and comes over to Turf Paradise and ran in a similar race here last time. Good second place finish behind a tough Robertino Diodoro winner. So I'll give this horse a little bit of a pass for the second place finish last time, given that I think the winner might turn out to be a nice horse here. So a couple of tough little races, but the second place finish on the move to Turf Paradise says that this horse probably will be very, very tough in here today. And I'll be, as I say, interested to see what the odds go off at. I think this horse is going to be a short price this afternoon. So Indian Smoke on top. Second spot, Cavoir or Cavour. This horse has some turf experience. And again, I should note, this is a turf race, and Indian Smoke hasn't tried the turf yet, also hasn't tried 2 turns. So Indian Smoke, I think, is going to be a short price, but there are a couple of question marks. I think the class will probably overcome that. But on the other hand, Cavoir has some turf experience and seemed to really improve when moved over to the turf. So I think with the turf experience, the 8 will be in the mix, and then the number 4, Rupert. This horse, 3 starts on the dirt, followed up last time by a turf debut, and improved nicely with the move to the turf. So this one, again, with that race under the belt and a little experience on the grass, the top apprentice out there at Turf Paradise on board, I think Rupert could be interesting also. In the 5th today, I have it 6, 8, 4, and 1.
All right, and that'll bring us to a break. We'll be right back after a few messages with more of Seth's handicapping from Turf Paradise right after this. Stay with us, please.
I'm Brian Natto of HorsePlayerNow.com. Join me Friday, February 21st at the Clubhouse Racebook, where I'll be handicapping the day's racing and managing a $500 bankroll for 25 lucky patrons. We'll see you then, and let's win together.
I'm Seth Merrill. Join me weekdays at 10 for Racing Across America. We'll look at important races from around the country, get insight from top handicappers and analysts, and preview the upcoming week in racing. That's Racing Across America, weekdays at 10, right here on the OTB TV network. The Capital OTB Handicapping Challenge Series is back. That's right. The 2014 Capital OTB Handicapping Challenge Series is back, and it's your chance to win thousands in cash and prizes, and a seat at the 2015 Handicapping Championship in Las Vegas. This month's contest is the Shamrock Showdown on March 1st. So sign up today, online at capitalotb.com, or stop in at the Clubhouse Racebook.
I got it. Watch me. I got it. Hey! I got something that makes me want to shout. I got something that tells me what it's all about. I got a move that tells me what to do. If you don't, brothers and sisters, then you won't know what it's all about.
Funding your Capital OTB bet account is as easy as 1, 2, 3. 1. Easy Money. Clearly the fastest and easiest method of depositing funds into your account. Make deposits or withdrawals in just minutes. 2. Green Dot Money Pack. Gives you instant access to your funds. Green Dot Money Packs are available at thousands of retailers nationwide. And 3. MasterCard Visa. Simply click on the link from the funding page, enter your account information, and fund your account. CapitalOTBBet.com. Log on today.
Hey race fans, head down to the all-new Clubhouse Racebook. With live horse racing on more than 250 flat-screen TVs, state-of-the-art wagering terminals, and amazing Vegas-style atmosphere. The Clubhouse Racebook, 711 Central Avenue, Albany.
And welcome back to Handicappers Report on this balmy Tuesday. I'm Mike Jarbo from the Times-Union. I'm here with my colleague Seth Merrill from Equidaily.com. And Seth is taking a look at today's card at Turf Paradise. We're up to the sixth race at Turf Paradise. We're going 5.5 furlongs. We have $10,000 claimers. Non-winners of 3 lifetimes going for $9,000 purse.
And this is a little bit of a dicey race, a little bit of a head scratcher. I wound up going 5, 7, 4, and 6, but without a whole lot of confidence. Moses on the Mesa, the number 5 horse, has the best recent form. Second place finish last time. The start before that was a 5th place finish, but a lot of early speed before throwing out the anchor. And I think the follow-up, nice second place finish shows that, again, this horse just may be in a form cycle that could be ready to pop today. That noted, and you add in 2 starts back, that fade job was at 6.5. Last time was at 5.5, back at 5.5 today. Again, I think this all adds up that Moses on the Mesa, just as I say, in a dicey race, slight nod in here. Second spot, we'll go out to the number 7 horse, 8 Stitches. This horse is likely going to be the one to beat, particularly off of that buyer figure last time. And this will be another race where I will be interested to see how the betting public decides on this one, because this is a horse off of that buyer figure last time, came in from California in the barn of Robertino Diodoro, the leading trainer, and won for fun here on the move to Turf Paradise. Did so by 12 lengths. A nice 81 buyer figure, all of which, again, stacks up to say this horse should have a solid edge on this field. But moves out of the barn of Robertino Diodoro and into an Ophir barn. Trainer had 9 starts in 2013, no wins. 1 start so far this year, did not hit the board. Now, we're a month away from the claim. Will the Diodoro training hold on? And this horse still could be a little bit interesting today. I'm willing to take a shot against a horse that I think is going to take some action off of that last race. Not much of a shot. I have it in the 2nd place spot, but I will toss 8 Stitches just underneath. Take a little bit of a shot against that one. 3rd spot, we'll go with the number 4, Bull Time. Tossed in a dud last time and needs to rebound, but I think the prior numbers are good enough to think Bull Time could be a contender. So again, it's a iffy kind of a situation in this race, but I went 5, 7, 4, and 6.
Okay, moving on to the 7th at Turf Paradise. We're going 5.5 furlongs for a $6,500 purse. 3-year-olds and up. $4,000 is the tag.
1, 3, 2, and 5. The number 1 is position A. Just been going well since the return to Turf Paradise. Had been out in Southern California for a while, but the 2 races since the return, 2 nice efforts with improving buyer figures. Moves up slightly, perhaps moves up slightly. 2 races back was in a 3,000 calendar condition. Last time was in a starter allowance at the 3 level. Those starter allowances are always a little saltier than the price indicates. So I think moving from the starter, nice 2nd place finish there, to a plain 4, It's maybe a slight move up. It may also be lateral, but it's not certainly a steep move by any means, if it's a move up at all. So I'll use the number 1 position A on top. Second spot, the number 3, Chester's Due. This one just gets back to the comfort zone. Last time out was for 8,000. 3 starts back was at a starter 8, but bookending those was a state bred 5. I think this open 4, probably somewhat comparable. Again, this horse could be going into the comfort zone price-wise. In the third spot, the number 2, Fine and Rare. I'm just looking at this horse being interested on the cutback. Stretched out to a mile last time, comes back to a sprint today, and I think this horse probably is more of a sprinter. So on the cutback, Fine and Rare could prove a little bit dangerous. 7th today, 1, 3, 2, and 5.
Okay, in the 8th race at Turf Paradise, we're back on the grass. We have fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up, going for a $10,000 claiming tag.
9, 4, 3, and 10. The number 9 is Laura Beasley. Laura Beasley over past 5 starts, a couple of wins and a second place finish. Those were all right in and around this price level. They were all 7.5 furlongs on the turf. So this horse right in that comfort zone where she runs pretty well and has done so most recently with a win right in a very similar race. So Laura Beasley certainly logical again today. Second spot, the number 4, Nana's Niner. Couple of good races most recently, and the last one was at this $10,000 level, and the last one was a second place finish too. My top pick, Laura Beasley. So a lot of times I say we get a little bit clever and try to juggle things up in races like this, and they come back and run exactly the same way next time out. That's what I'm hoping for. I have them 1-2 today in the similar fashion that they went 1-2 last time. Third spot, the number 3, Glee. Nice win at the 6,250 level last time, so bumps up condition-wise, but this horse just seems to be moving in the right direction and may have the ability and be in a good enough form to be able to make that class jump. Has raced at this level and even higher, not that far back in the past performances, and was competitive. So I think this horse probably, again, coming off the win, should be well spotted in this group again today. In the 8, 9, 4, 3, and 10.
And that'll take us up to today's finale at Turf Paradise. We have a 6-furlong allowance contest, $13,000, nice and salty, non-winners of 2 lifetime, 3-year-olds and up.
6, 9, 2, and 8. The number 6 is Sweet Thunder. A couple of nice races on the return. Debuted back in 2011 at Santa Anita. Didn't show much that day, and then laid off, the better part of a little more than 2 years, in fact. The comeback effort down here at Turf Paradise was a nice win, followed up in a N2L allowance, running a good second. So I think this is a horse that has a little bit of talent. Now has been off since the beginning of December, but certainly that race a couple back showed that the layoff shouldn't be a concern. This is a 6-year-old with only 3 starts, so overall there may be some concerns. But if we get efforts close to those November and December starts, this horse is going to be right up in the hunt. Kuzan, the number 9 horse, last time out, showed some speed but wound up fading late. That was at a mile, cuts back to 6 furlongs today, so I think this horse getting back to a more preferred distance. Kuzan should be in the hunt. And then the number 2, Instinctively Bold. What are we looking at? I'm just looking down the page here. Yeah, we haven't missed an on-the-board finish going back to June of last year, probably, 8 or 9 starts. So, again, this horse is in some pretty good form. Second or third in all 5 of the starts over the Turf Paradise surface, including a close-up second last time. Instinctively Bold on, again, the form going back to late last spring, combined with an appreciation of this track, means that you have to have this one in your, at least your trifecta mix. In the 9th today at Turf Paradise, 6, 9, 2, and 8.
And that'll do it from Turf Paradise. We're going to go get a mop and continue our cleanup of the big spill in here this morning. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back with Racing from Parks right after this.
I'm Brian Natto of HorsePlayerNow.com. Join me Friday, February 21st at the Clubhouse Racebook, where I'll be handicapping the day's racing and managing a $500 bankroll for 25 lucky patrons. We'll see you then, and let's win together.
This is Steve Beck. Join me Tuesday through Saturday here on OTB TV for At the Races, my Sirius XM daily news magazine of the thoroughbred industry, handicapping interviews, analysis, everything you could want. 6 a.m. OTB TV.
Hey, race fans, head down to the all-new Clubhouse Racebook and get in the game. With live horse racing on more than 250 flat-screen TVs, state-of-the-art wagering terminals, fantastic food and drinks, an amazing Vegas-style atmosphere with seating for nearly 900 of your closest friends. Conveniently located at 711 Central Avenue, right off Exit 5 of I-90 in Albany, the Clubhouse Racebook is the better choice.
Each morning on the OTB TV network, you get the very best in horse racing programming. Weekdays begin with the Handicappers Report, where professional handicappers share their selections and analysis of the day's racing. Followed by Racing Across America, a daily conversation with racing personalities from around the country. Saturdays include Down the Stretch, where Mark Casano speaks with the biggest names in racing. And Sunday mornings, it's Loose on the Lead, where Steve Bick and I offer news and a unique lineup of weekly guests. All here on the OTB TV network.
Wagering at CapitalOTBBet.com is as easy as 1, 2, 3. 1. Capital Bet TV, the fastest and easiest online wagering experience where you can monitor 5 different tracks simultaneously. 2. Capital Bet Express. Its straightforward program layout and interactive handicapping information lets you build your wager quickly and efficiently. And 3. Capital Bet Pro, designed especially for the professional horse player. CapitalOTBBet.com. Log on today.
Missed one of our TV shows? No worries. Now you can catch all your favorite programs online. Simply log on to CapitalOTB.com and click on the YouTube link at the bottom of the homepage. And look for our new podcast coming soon. CapitalOTB.com. Log on today.
Welcome back to the Handicappers Report. Seth Merrow and Mike Jarbo in here on this Tuesday morning, day after the holiday. There was a little traffic on the road today, but not bad. Managed to get in here fine. All right, I just took a look at Turf Paradise. We're going to now shift our attention to Parks for this afternoon. Opener at Parks is a maiden claiming event. Claiming tags $25,000. These are 3-year-olds. They'll go 7 furlongs.
Let's try 7, 5, and 3 in here. We're going to take Woody's Show on top. Now this one drops down in class for maiden specials and has posted 2 good races to date. The first one was off slow and had some other trouble, and last time the running line last time says Vide checked and faded in a big field. That doesn't sound too good. So I think maybe dropping back down to the claimers could be the ticket for this one. And this one also has a turn of speed, so I think this one is going to be vying for the lead and maybe won't shy this time. Second, we have the 5, Little Ricky. Now this one, last out, ran a 23 1¼ on the lead and showing improved speed. And the top pick, Woody's Show, is the only other one in here that seems to be able to be close to a pace like this. This one got bet to favoritism last 2 races, finished second last 2 races. I'm starting to worry about the professional maiden thing with this after 5 starts, but has been running well, so we'll put this one to get second. In the third spot, we'll take Only George. Once again, this is a horse who gets my third choice by dint of the fact that he's less of a loser than a lot of these other horses. So we'll take Only George to get the third spot. 7, 5, and 3 in the opener at Parks.
Race number 2 at Parks this afternoon. It is a calendar condition claimer, $7,500 tags. These are 4-year-olds and up. They will go, once again, 7 furlongs.
We're going 3, 1, and 2 in here. We're going to take Granddad Bud on top. Now this one takes a minor class rise and is still eligible for this non-winners of 1 condition because the fact that last out this one won for a lower price tag. So is still eligible for this condition. This one has won 6 races at Parks and has a good 5 out of 8 record in the exacta at this distance. And I think this one will handle the class rise today. So we'll take Granddad Bud, the 3, on top. In the second spot, we'll go inside to the 1, Huff and Hughes, who gets 1 more furlong after making up some ground late versus the top choice last out. Had a poor start in that race and made a good rally in a big field. And if they get precipitation there, and the forecast's a little dicey at Parks today. This one has a 3 for 9 record on the wet. So A wet track won't be a problem if they get that. And if you look, do a little archaeology and look a couple races back with this one, you see some pretty good numbers. So this one would be no surprise at all. But we'll put Huff and Hughes second. In the third spot, we're going to go to High on Candy, who goes second off layoff, was steadied in a big field last time out, and was a decent fifth three back. So we'll take High on Candy for the third spot. 3-1-2 in the second at Parks.
Race number 3 this afternoon is a maiden claiming event, 20 to 25 tags. These are 3-year-old fillies. Once again, 7 furlongs.
I'm going 6-8-2 in here, and I believe I gave the wrong number to the graphic department, so it should say 6-8-2. My mistake. We're going to take a first-time starter in this race based on the fact that when you have these horses who keep going out and trying and not getting there, you might as well try for a first-time starter and hope the barn has it ready to go. We're going to take Chubby Charlie, the 6. She also would be good on a wet track if they get the rain there, because she's a granddaughter of Carson City, so she should have the feet to run in the mud if that's what they get there. This one has a few decent works back. The last work was kind of slow, but I'm not worried about that. I know some people say, well, it was a slow work, but maybe the jock just didn't pursue the horse, and they just wanted to get a little exercise. So we're going to take Chubby Charlie to post a mild upset in this race. In the second spot, we're going to go to the outside, Manda Moo, who I don't have the morning line, but I think this one is going to be the likely favorite. Gets blinkers on today and gets major class relief dropping for maiden specials out of a key race. Had trouble in the last start, too. Got jostled at the beginning and wound up finishing far back. And that was versus maiden specials. Gets class release, gets blinkers on, and this trainer has good numbers with this drop. So we're going to take Manda Moo second. And in the third spot, we're going to go to the 2, Lucy Acton, who finished last out, finished behind a next out winner, and I think with that experience under her belt that she'll be able to get a piece of this. 6-8-2 in the third at Parks.
Fourth race today is a calendar condition claimer. The claiming tag $16,000. These are 4-year-olds and up. Finally, a new distance. They'll go a mile.
Hooray. We're going to take 2-5-1 in this race. We're going to put Giant's Tomb on top, who takes a class rise here off the claim, and that class rise seems to indicate confidence from the trainer. Moved into a slow pace last time out, and I think this one can handle the class rise. Has won 9 of 15 starts over this course, and has won 5 of 6 at this distance. So I think this one has the tools to get the job done here. So Giant's Tomb on top in the fourth. In the second spot, we're going to go to the 5, Dilatory, who had a convincing win at a lesser level last out. Takes a little bit of a class rise here, but this one is a little bit of an in and outer. It seems to be one of those horses who runs well, then gives you a bad race, then runs well, gives you a bad race. And unfortunately, judging by the last race, which was good, this could be the time to throw in a stinker. But we're gonna put Dilatory second and see what happens with that. In the third spot, we're going inside of the 1, Plymouth Square, who gets some class relief today, has a 1 for 17 record at Parks, which I don't like. Made a wide move into a slow pace off layoff last out, and gets venue class release also coming in from Laurel. So maybe that race will help move this one up a little bit. So in the fourth at Parks, 2, 5, and 1.
Fifth race today is a starter allowance at the $16,000 level. Fillies and Mares, 4-year-olds and up. They will go 7 furlongs.
7, 3, and 4 in here. We're going to go to Cherokee Mystery, who last out posted the top buyer in the field, and that was off a layoff and should be able to improve off that race. Cuts back a furlong here, but I don't think that's going to be a problem. Finished well in back of a next out winner in that race, and is 2 for 2 on the wet if that happens. Has a good record over this course, and going second off layoff, I like this one a lot in this spot. You might get a little bit of a price too. So we'll take Cherokee Mystery on top. In the second spot, we're going to go to the 3 Our Deputy Express, who won at this distance 2 back and dead heated for second in the last effort, has shown the capability to pass horses, which one of the things of looking at this field is it seemed like a lot of these horses get sort of spin their wheels and don't want to go past their rivals. So this one can at least pass horses once in a while, which some of these don't seem to be able to do. So we'll put the 3 Our Deputy Express in the second spot. The third spot, we're going to go to Golden Rock, who vied early and in the last and got and still managed to eke out a win by 2 lengths. And that was a pretty good race. I hope it just didn't take too much out of that one. So we're gonna see this one on the lead, and maybe she can keep going today. 7, 3, and 4 in the 5th at Parks.
All right, we'll take our next break. When we come back, we'll continue our look at Parks racing for this afternoon. Stay tuned as the Handicappers Report will continue.
Join me Friday, February 21st at the Clubhouse Racebook, where I'll be handicapping the day's racing and managing a $500 bankroll for 25 lucky patrons. We'll see you then, and let's win together.
And I'm Seth Merrill.
Together, we're loose on the lead on Capital OTB, Sundays at 10 a.m. Why should they watch, Seth?
Sit down on Sunday, have a bagel, get some great racing conversation.
Cream cheese only, no jelly. Sundays, 10 a.m., loose on the lead, Capital OTB.
Using CapitalOTBBet.com is as easy as 1, 2, 3. 1. Simply log on with your username and password from the homepage. 2. Fund your Capital OTB account through our Easy Money, Green Dot, or Visa MasterCard options. And 3. Place your bet on one of our 3 easy-to-navigate wagering platforms, Capital Bet TV, Capital Bet Express, or Capital Bet Pro. CapitalOTBBet.com. Log on today.
Here in upstate New York, no one provides bettors with more wagering options than Capital OTB. Our network of branch and easy bet locations stretches from the mid-Hudson Valley all the way to the Canadian border and west to central New York. So whether you need to place a bet, fund your Capital Bets account, or watch the next big race, all the action is just around the corner. A full list of our branch and easy bet locations can be found online at CapitalOTB.com. Capital OTB, the better and most convenient choice for wagering in upstate New York.
The Capital OTB Handicapping Challenge Series is back. That's right. The 2014 Capital OTB Handicapping Challenge Series is back, and it's your chance to win thousands in cash and prizes, and a seat at the 2015 Handicapping Championship in Las Vegas. This month's contest is the Shamrock Showdown on March 1st. So sign up today, online at CapitalOTB.com, or stop in at the Clubhouse Racebook.
I'm Mark Cassano. Join me Saturday mornings at 10 for Down the Stretch. We'll inform, analyze, and welcome in the biggest names in racing. So join me Saturday mornings at 10 for Down the Stretch, right here on the OTB Television Network.
Welcome back to the Handicappers Report on this Tuesday morning. I took a look at Turf Paradise a little earlier. Mike Jarbo is now in the middle of his look at Parks racing for this afternoon. The 6th at Parks, a maiden claimer, $35,000 to $40,000 tags. Fillies and Mayors, 4 and 5 years old. They will go what seems to be the preferred distance today at Parks, 7 furlongs.
Going 3, 4, and 1 in here. My top selection is Forest Rim, who makes the drop back to claimers out of maiden specials, but is moving to open company today. And if you do a little archaeology and go back to this one's first start, ran a pretty decent one in this, finishing second to a blowout winner. And last out, 2 back, was wide, but made up a pretty decent amount of ground in that race. So I think the change in class might be good for this one. And after that second place finish, I think we're going to see some improvement out of this one today. So we'll take the 3 Forest Rim on top. In the second spot, we're going to go to the 4 Boxford Bell, who is one of our New York buddies, has raced here. Had some trouble in the last start and wound up finishing far back, beating 11 lengths. But was wide in that one, got checked, and had all kinds of problems. That was second off layoff. Gets venue class relief coming in here from Aqueduct, and I'm expecting, had a good race actually over this course. Looking back too, made up 8 lengths late in the race. And so we're going to put Boxford Bell in the second spot. In the third spot, we're going to go to the 1 Prithee, who finished ahead of the choice 2 back and got headed in that race, and that was a good effort. Last time, not so much. Takes another class drop, and I think we'll do better today. 3, 4, and 1 in the 6th at Parks.
7th race this afternoon, optional claiming event. Claiming tags $25,000. The condition, non-winners of 2 other than. These are 4-year-olds and up. They'll go a mile.
We're going to go 4, 2, and 6 in this race. In the top spot, we have Blue Cam, who has spent most of his life racing on other surfaces, and I think has raced the last 2 races on dirt, which was an unfamiliar surface to him, and posted convincing wins in both. So I think this one has found a new career running on dirt. So it comes into this race in good form. Won one of those on a wet track, one on a fast track, so you know he can handle any surface. So we'll put Blue Cam in the first position, the 4. In the second spot, we'll go to the 2, Arrogant Officer, who is the field's top earner, who has won 6 races at this track in 37 starts. Showed brief speed last time, and stretches out today. And I think has faced some of these horses last time out, but I'm expecting a better effort out of this one today. And in the third spot, we go to the 6, Sky Blue Magnolia, who gets venue class relief. Ran a very good race at this track, 2 back with a wire win. That was back in November, and threw in a clunker last time. But I'm expecting better from this one after having that one, that Aqueduct start under his belt. So 4, 2, 6 in the 7th at Parks.
8th race at Parks today, yet another optional claiming event. This time the tags are $40,000 and the condition, non-winners of 3 other than. They're back to that favored distance today, 7 furlongs.
1, 6, and 5 for me in here. I'm going to take the 1 entry with Stu Elliott. I'm not sure which one's going to go, but I kind of like both of them. Piquant is my favorite of the 2. This one comes in here fresh, has been away since December. Shows some good works for the return, and if you look at this one's last 3 races, he posted 92 buyers in each one of those 3. So it's a sort of a consistent runner, and having had that freshening and having the good work for the return, I'm going to take this one to maybe take these all the way. In the second spot, we're going to go to the 6. Lubango, who is, this is one of our old New York friends, if I recall, was trained by Patty Farrow. Last time out, returned from having about a month off, and ran a good 4th to Aussie Austin, was 6 wide on the turn, and just didn't have enough gas to get there at the end, having had that wide trip. So with a better trip today, and also keeping the same jockey who rode him in Laurel too, Bisono. With a better trip today, I can see Lubango getting a good piece of this. And in the third spot, we're going to go to the 5, Keep the Cannoli, who gets venue class relief today. Had all kinds of trouble in his last start. It says 6 wide upper, bothered, checked, everything. So all kinds of problems. So with a cleaner trip today, I think this one can very well be in the mix here. So we'll go 1, 6, 5 in the 8th at Parks.
9th at Parks today is a maiden claimer, $10,000 tags. These are 4 and 5-year-olds going 7 furlongs.
6, 10, and 3 in this one. We're going to go with Protect and Serve on top, who goes for a new barn today. And the barn is winless on the year, but I think this one can maybe help the trainer break the schneid. In the last race, this one was bet to 3 to 5 and broke slowly, was never really in the hunt early, played catch up and managed to get a decent third out of it. And that effort would seem, to, especially since it was off a layoff, that effort would seem to me to be indicative that this one has some talent. However, he's been away since April, so this is kind of a dicey selection. But I'm gonna go for a price and see. I think we're going to see if Protect and Serve can give us a good effort today. In the second spot, we're going to go to the outside with Scramitz the Hawk, who is becoming one of our familiar Philadelphia runners that I've been handicapping every week, and then the track has been canceling. But I'm gonna take this one second. But this is the kind you really have to let beat you. These horses like this just drive me crazy. Usually gets a piece of it, never quite gets there, always gets bet. Last time out in a 10-horse field, was on the pace and gave it up late. Was bet to 2-1, and couldn't get the job done. So I'm going to see this one as getting the second spot, and I just can't put a horse like this on top. Just can't do it. Third spot, Fingers Charlie, the 3, and the best thing I can say about this is some of the races this one has are less bad than a lot of the other horses. This one has an 0 for 11 record at Parks. However, has finished second 6 times at this track, and the last race wasn't horrible. Pressed the pace and folded late, but got a good third out of that. Keeps the same rider as last time. So we'll see Fingers Charlie in the third spot. 6, 10, and 3 will do it for the 9th in Parks.
All right, we took a look at Parks. We took a look at Turf Paradise. There are a couple of the tracks you'll be able to watch on the network this afternoon. In fact, we're going to kick off the action with Parks, moving on to Beulah, Sam Houston, Turf Paradise, Sunland, Western Fair, Dover Downs, Northfield, and Yonkers. Don't forget, if you missed our selections this morning or just didn't get a chance to write them down anyway, go over to capitalotb.com, click on the Handicappers Report on the right-hand side of the page. You come up with a nice printable sheet each and every day with all of the selections that are given out by the handicappers on the program in the morning. And don't forget, the Bet 50, Get 50 promotion continues this month. If you become a new Capital Bets wagering account holder, as soon as you bet 50 in, you get 50, and you can do that via capitalotbbet.com, our new state-of-the-art wagering platform. It's we're a few months old now, and certainly all the feedback has been very positive. I certainly enjoy it. I continue to say a lot of bells and whistles that are certainly very, very effective to help with your wagering in the afternoons. Don't forget, a lot of promotions coming up here at Capital OTB during the month of February. Coming up this Saturday, there is the Show Viver contest, capitalotb.com. On Mondays all month long, there's been $100 knockout challenge that continues this coming Monday here at the Clubhouse Racebook. It's based on Aqueduct Racing on Mondays, $100 knockout challenge right here, Clubhouse Racebook, 711 Central Avenue in Albany. Also at the Clubhouse Racebook. Coming up this Friday, February 21st, it is the return of the $500 happy hour bankroll with Brian Nadeau. Come on down here to the Clubhouse. 25 patrons will be selected randomly to participate in the bankroll. Brian's been in here for a couple of bankrolls, 2 bankrolls back. He did very well. Last time it was one of those days that was a little bit of a struggle, but we'll see if he can get back on track Friday. $500 happy hour bankroll, again, right here at the Clubhouse Racebook. The next day at the Clubhouse Racebook, Saturday the 22nd, prize wheel day. Come down, randomly selected people get to spin the prize wheel. Nothing wrong with that. And then Sunday the 23rd, there'll be the Sunday Syndicate bankroll via capitalotb.com, the website. I also do want to remind you, because pretty quickly after the calendar page turns, if you play in the Capital OTB handicapping series, the next event is coming up March 1st. So keep that in mind. March 1st, the Shamrock Showdown. Again, that's right here at the Clubhouse Racebook. You can find more about all of these events and promotions at capitalotb.com. And Mike, it's about time to wrap up the show.
Just don't put us back in December again.
Yeah,
that was no good.
That's a slip of the tongue, and I don't even know if that was a Freudian slip. If it was Freudian, I'd be saying July. But we talked at the top of the show a little bit about the Southwest, which wrapped up a nice weekend of racing, and there was another step on the Kentucky Derby trail coming out of that. The latest leaderboard for the Kentucky Derby, the winner of the Southwest, is now the top points holder in the Kentucky Derby points race. Tapiture now with 22 points. Havana, Cairo Prince, and Honor Code all have 14 points. Tamarindo, who won the El Camino Real over the weekend, sits fifth at 12 points. Midnight Hawk also with 12. And last year, I think 10, it wasn't more than 14. The last horse in the starting gate last year in the Kentucky Derby either had 10 or 14, I've forgotten. And then there was an AE list, which they started last year. The horse on the AE list had only 6 points. So it would seem like horses like Tapiture, Havana, Cairo Prince, Honor Code may already have their tickets stamped, unless this, they just started it last year. Maybe that was a little bit of a quirk, and we'll find out more this year. But it just seems like they're probably in a pretty good position at this point, not having to really chase points. Their connections can start to pick their spots the way they would like. At some point, we'll get to some of these horses further down the list. We'll have to start to chase a little bit because that point system has changed things up in the way trainers have to look at it.
This is still a real Rubik's Cube this year. There's so many horses look promising. It's really difficult to. This is why you really need a good price on the futures pool in this year.
But it's going to start to shake out this weekend as well down at Gulfstream, Fountain of Youth, over at Fairgrounds, the Risen Star, two very good fields. I thought up until yesterday, the Southwest could have been the strongest field of 3-year-olds we've seen so far this year, but both over at Gulfstream and at Fairgrounds on the weekend, two very good fields there as well. So we'll be looking forward to that. All right, we're going to wrap things up for the Handicappers Report for this Tuesday morning. Seth Merrill, Mike Jarbo, hopefully we gave you some good information. Stay tuned. Up next, it's Racing Across America.
You're watching OTB TV, a service of Capital Off Track Betting.